great to actually be in game week. Today is Tanoga Tuesday for us. We have a daily emphasis every day when we start getting into game weeks. Monday is Mental Monday. It's all about the mental approach, and practice is really geared towards kind of figuring out what we're doing, what the defense is doing, offense is doing, what our opponent's doing. Tanoga Tuesday stands for takeaway, no giveaway. So it's really a day that's all about turnovers, right? And on offense, protecting the ball. On defense, creating turnovers. And this is always important. Wednesday is Working Man Wednesday. It's a work day. You got to put in the work. Thursday is Team Thursday. Your team starts coming together with the plan of what we're doing. Friday is Focus Friday, getting everybody locked in and focused on the game. And then if we do that well, we'll have a successful Saturday. And so that's kind of our days of the week. And then Spiritual Sunday for anybody that chooses to participate in that. So I really just like giving the guys a daily focus and kind of have them every day, kind of have something to look forward to and really working on. Probably the best practice we've had since I've been here. I told the guys after practice, I love the energy. I love the physical part of practice. Again, we're doing a lot of good on good to try to, again, get our guys ready and also allow all of the defensive players to stay with the defense the entire time and not have to go to a scout team, and all the offensive players stay with the offense the entire time. And then again, the good on good work that you get during your typical scout periods is a lot more realistic to a game and very physical today. We're not tackling to the ground, but we are staying up in what we call our thud tempo, where it's full speed, hard contact, wrap up, but keeping everybody off the ground. We're really pleased there. And then again, just our first 4 days of prep, the guys have been focused, locked in, they're excited. I think the biggest thing, my job is going to be kind of making sure that we don't use all of our emotion and energy during the week. And we still have a lot of preparation to do, and really it's about peaking at 7 o'clock Saturday night. This past Saturday we went back to Raymond James and basically did our dress rehearsal. From everything from starting off in the locker room to going out to pregame, where everybody's going to be, what the timing looks like, how we run on the field, how we run off the field at halftime, and all the different scenarios, about 36 different scenarios that can happen in a game. And I've been a part of some good dress rehearsals and some bad ones over the last 12 or 13 years at my previous school, and didn't really know what to expect. But man, these guys were locked in and serious, just like a game. So that was a really good sign for me. And then again, yesterday was also a good practice. So early in the week, I feel like we're off to a really good start. Kind of moving forward as we get into game weeks, I think what I'm going to be communicating to the media is either we have, as of right now, I could say we have zero guys out due to COVID or contact tracing, and right now I'm going to say we have one or more, and just kind of leave it like that. And then I think what our plan is right now is before the game, before kickoff, Brian and our staff will send out a list of players that are unavailable for that game. And I'm really doing that to help y'all out, not spend the first half of the game going through the chart trying to figure out who's not there, and also just eliminate some questions after the game. The people that will be on that list would be players that maybe if they were completely healthy, they would play, right? So I'm not putting guys that didn't travel. It'll be guys, it could be an ankle injury, it could be a shoulder, a hamstring, and then also it could be out due to COVID-related positive or contact tracing. But I think just with the laws of everything, I want to protect our players, and then also, and quite frankly, I don't want to give the opposing team an early outlook. If we had a situation, for example, 1 week where all 4 of our starting secondary guys were out, which is very realistic, and your opponent knows that on Tuesday, they're going to change their game plan. If they know that your entire defensive line the starters are out, they're going to change their game plan. I think, number one, to protect our young men and their privacy, and then also to protect our team as far as strategy, it's better to wait until before the game. And then again, we're not trying to hide anything. We'll let everybody know who we wanted to be available but is unavailable, and we'll leave it like that, kind of moving forward now that we're in game weeks. Our plan on Thursday is to release a depth chart. I did meet with our quarterbacks Sunday night and inform them of who's going to be taking the first snap and starting the game on Saturday. It's still a very close competition. It's going to go on, in my estimation, for a couple weeks. And again, I just kind of repeat what I said earlier. My goal is to really have that solidified by the Cincinnati game, October the 3rd. But I met with the quarterbacks Sunday night, and I told our team Monday morning, and we'll be releasing our first depth chart with the starting quarterback on Thursday before the media availability, and I'll have a chance to answer any questions there. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Yeah, because you seem to do a little bit more physical stuff than some teams. And I've seen some things with coaches have been concerned because they don't think that their teams they're wearing out late practices, and they're afraid of what might happen in the fourth quarter. I mean, you can hear blocking going all you want, but that's not a moving target strategy. How concerned are you about that kind of thing?
You know, it's difficult. Again, we're all going through this as coaches. We're all going through it for the very first time, and a lot of us are calling around trying to figure out what other people are doing, and we just have to figure out as a staff what works for us. It starts with our medical staff, and again, very fortunate. We've got a great medical team and doctors that kind of give us some parameters to work within. And then as coaches, we strategically look at it. Now, one thing that is different is we have more breaks during practice than we typically would. A typical year, which is definitely not a typical year. A typical year, you would have 2 breaks during a 2-hour practice. And now we probably have 6 breaks during a 2-hour and 20-minute practice. And so you do good on good for about 20 minutes, and then you say, all right, 4-minute break, everybody sit down. We got popsicles, we got Powerade, we got the whole deal. Let everybody take their time. All right, are we good? All right, now let's go. And we go back. So it's taking a little bit longer. We still have to stay within our 20 hours that we have. So it's a little bit, you give up a little bit of meeting time to spread out practice a little bit longer. But, at the end of the day, you got to physically be ready to go out and play. And so, so far, I feel good about our plan. But, I mean, it's already changed multiple times, and we're trying to get to the best plan, and we just got to be able to monitor and adjust. But I'm very pleased with what our plan is up to this point, and I guess we'll find out Saturday night if it was successful or not.
Have you noticed any drop-off late in practice sessions? Like some coaches have said that late in the practice sessions they've noticed a drop-off reserve before.
Yeah, so probably a week ago, yes, and that's why we made some adjustments to adding more breaks. And then also, just full transparency, we're going earlier now. So we're bringing our players in earlier. Today we were on the field at 8:30, where last week we were on the field at 9:30. And part of the reason is the difference in the heat here between finishing at 10:45 and finishing at 11:45. So you're trying to find every way to kind of help your guys have efficient practices. And so those are some of the adjustments that we made.
Obviously, the Southern Conference has, decided not to play football this year for the majority of their conference. But Citadel gets their 4 games. Does that give them a chip on their shoulder, knowing that they only have 4 opportunities to play this year?
Yeah, I mean, the Citadel's always a dangerous team anytime that you play them. In my opinion, I'm not in their locker room or anything like that. In my opinion, they're probably even more dangerous now because my experience in the past, being at my previous school, sometimes you'd play a FCS opponent, and maybe they were in the middle of their season playing for a conference championship. So coaches and players were a little careful kind of once the game started to go, and they maybe pulled back and didn't want to get guys injured or something like that. And these guys, I mean, they got us this week, and then they can turn around and play Clemson next week. So they're trying to wreck some dreams is what they're doing and have fun. And when you can play free and play loose, like I know that I'm sure they will on Saturday night, it makes us definitely need to be focused and be ready.
Jeff, have you settled on a kicker as the that competition ongoing?
Yep, we will by Thursday. I think we're pretty close. I have not met with the kickers yet or told them, but I feel that more than likely, depending on how tomorrow goes, I'd like to have one named Thursday. Tomorrow doesn't go the way that I want it to, then we'll have to use the dreaded "or" in there for you. But we'll hopefully do our best not to do that Thursday, but we'll see. They're still competing right now, and it's very close.
You're familiar with the old Georgia Tech triple option. Is the Citadel similar?
Yeah, very, very similar. I mean, it's almost identical. It's probably a little bit more similar to Georgia Tech than it is some of the stuff that Navy's doing. There are definitely some similarities to Navy, but very, very similar to what Georgia Tech has done in the past. And me being on the offensive side of the ball, we didn't have to really deal with that as much. But I know the defensive staff, that was always a difficult week every year. At Clemson in the past. So very similar. I mean, I think for them it starts with their quarterback. He's an experienced guy, had a great season last year, and that's really, if you look back at the best teams that Georgia Tech had as we played them, when they had a quarterback, they were really tough to beat. That guy knows the reads and all the different things, and I see that with Citadel.
Coach, just with the USF Health and the testing that's going on now, we're going to 3 tests this week. Just that comfort level for coaches and the players especially to feel safe and what they've been able to do for y'all.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, each school has their own strengths and weaknesses and areas that we need to improve, and obviously we're working on a plan to improve some facility stuff here in the future. Obviously, the stuff with COVID's kind of pushed us back just a little bit, but I feel confident we're going to get there. But one of the advantages that we do have, right, is kind of play with your strengths. One of the advantages that we do have is we have USF Health in our backyard. And I know I've talked to coaches in our conference that, it's taking them 2 and 3 hours to get testing done. So it's really, taking up part of their day and part of their preparation. It's been difficult with the timing. And we get our test results back very quickly. They come over here to actually test our guys right outside of our facility every day. And I think also the trust level that our medical staff, doctors have with the quality of the testing, it gives myself confidence as a coach to stand in front of my team and say, I do feel it's safe for us to continue as we've, identified some issues in certain places. And I think that's really helped our guys, because they also, at the end of the day, it's what your players know, what they believe. And I think they're very pleased and confident with the resources that we have here with USF Health in our backyard.
You guys are 3-4 weeks now in classes. I mean, probably maybe a little less, but how are the guys adapting? I know there's been some clusters on campus, but are they still trying to make it?
I don't know many of them. I think we have 19 in-person classes, and I don't know how many of those have actually been meeting in person. Probably the biggest change from the spring is the online classes now. The majority of them, you actually have to be logged in at 1:30 or at 2 o'clock and sit in front of your screen and be there with the teacher, which is good. Where I think in the spring, when it went really quickly, it was kind of like they emailed you the assignments and you did it on your own timing. So our guys have had to get kind of adjusted to that a little bit. But really, we haven't seen anything that we feel like students back on campus, and obviously that's going to be a daily and weekly deal. And again, it's just trying to educate our guys as much as we can and learn from other situations, other places. But so far to this point, it hasn't been a major issue for us.
Jeff, this whole whirlwind for you started back in December with you basically juggling 2 jobs. How did you do that? Did you sleep?
Yeah, I want to be sure we get credit that we had the first Zoom staff meeting in December of 2019. So there's something that just said, hey, let's get ready. So my first 2 staff meetings were through Zoom from Clemson. And you know what? I would say this. I mean, has there been some long days, and we're not through it yet, right? We're getting to the season. We're excited about that, but we still know we have challenges. But just being fully transparent, I've had a lot of fun already, and the season hasn't started yet. And I mean, it's just every day being around these guys and seeing their excitement and energy. And they bought in. I had a question maybe yesterday on the radio show. Sam Barrington asked a good question just about getting guys to buy in, and when you come into a program maybe that lost the year before, there's coaching turnover, you got so much. I said, to be honest, what we did is we set the standard that, hey, this is going to be the standard, this is the expectation, and either you meet it or you don't, and what I saw, and I don't know what I expected because I didn't really know what was in our locker room, but by and large, 96% of the guys have really risen to those expectations. So that's been very rewarding as a coach to see that, and to see guys, I can remember the first few years at Clemson when Coach Sweeney really kind of set that standard, and you could just see drastic difference. And, I'm really hoping for this team that they could see that this year. It may take a year or two, similar to what it did in the past at other places, but I want that for our guys. I want them to see that because they've been, really focused on the details and showing up on time for meals and showing up on time for meetings and doing things, that it does translate into success on the field. And how you do anything is how you do everything. And there's a standard in everything that you do. So for seeing that, it's been fun and enjoyable. But there's no doubt. I mean, it's one of these things, I've said this before, but there's not much that you could tell me or Michael Kelly that could get us to blink. I mean, it's just like, you can tell me whatever you want to say, and that we're canceling the game this week, and we're flying to Hawaii instead, and we'll say, all right, good, let's go put the plan together. I mean, it's just, so I think that part has been good, that it's made you prepare and be able to adjust. I kind of use the analogy of, when you're playing baseball and you're on the on-deck circle and you kind of put that weight on that bat, right? You're swinging that heavy bat so that when you get up there in the batter's box, you're swinging a light bat. I feel like a little bit like this year, and it could be potentially in the next year, we're swinging a heavy bat, but it's going to pay off for us whenever, down the road, and things are going to become a little bit easier, hopefully, as we get a handle with COVID and stuff. So it's a very interesting time, challenging, but a lot of fun. I can just tell you, I get up really early and get excited about getting over here every day.
Can you describe your mindset? Like, if you had a moment to sit back and take in the fact that you make your head coaching debut on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm good friends with Ryan at Memphis, head coach. I know he had the bowl game, but for his first full season, we probably talk once a week. And so I just kind of checked in with him before their game the other night and said, all right, I get to watch you first. I get a whole another week to kind of get ready. But, I think it's kind of what we tell our players too, that like, you got to be so busy being great on what's in front of you that you don't think about that. Now, I'm sure we get out there Saturday night, and I just know how I am. I'll take a minute or two and kind of enjoy that moment and that time. And, for me, I want to enjoy the moment in the locker room after the game with the players. That's kind of what I would look forward to more than pregame or pregame talk or anything like that. That's the part where, all this work they put in to be able to have a special ending to the first game would be ideal.
Jerry, last week you were asked if this is your most challenging season in your career. Has it also been your most rewarding, given that you go back to KJ in June and his walk, and then all the protocols that have to be followed throughout the last few months?
Yeah, I would say that probably the two, and I guess part of it I would say is we're only halfway through this season, or halfway through the year. We're starting the season, but up to this point, it has been very rewarding. And, I think anything in life that you finally get to a place where you really appreciate it, it's because it was hard, it was tough, there was challenges, there was adversity that you had to fight through to get to the other side, and that's what made it rewarding. And I think, again, to see the way that coming into a new environment and with these players, all new coaches around them, and to see that the way they've handled themselves has made it very special for myself and this coaching staff.
Are you concerned that the team might be too amped up running that game?
Yes, I am. Absolutely. So that's something I'm always talking to the guys about. I mean, I want them amped up for 2 hours in practice. There's kind of the bits and time during the week where you want to get there and then you want to pull back. I think my biggest job was going to be Friday and Saturday, not play until 7 o'clock, to be sure that Friday night and Saturday morning and Saturday at the pregame meal, and then that pregame getting out there, that we don't use all of our energy. But, right now, there's kind of a pattern, or maybe you kind of get in a battle rhythm, if you will, during the week, and you kind of know what it looks like when it's done right. And that's probably why I'm excited right now, is I feel like in our first week we've got a pretty good little battle rhythm to a game week, and tomorrow will be another hot, challenging day for them, and Thursday putting it all together. So still got more work to do, but overall I'm pleased with how they've handled the week so far.
I think Kirk Herbstreit said it really well last night on SportsCenter that college football feeds off of energy. It's not like some of these other professional sports that you could do it without it. Are your guys going to have to feed on something else on Saturday with no crowd energy, or how do you feel it's going to go?
Yeah, well, I'm meeting tonight with some of the people that are in charge of the music and crowd noise and all that stuff to kind of hear what the plan is. Big picture, my philosophy has always been that outside circumstances cannot have an impact on how you play. All right, it shouldn't matter where we play, it shouldn't matter what time, it shouldn't matter what uniform we wear, it shouldn't matter who we play. It should really all matter about how we play. So that's kind of our overall mindset. But yeah, if we can create a little bit of atmosphere, and then that is something. Having energy on the sidelines is something that we always want to do, whether we have a crowd there or not. So I think that will be important. I think you can watch some of the games that have already gone on, and you see some teams that have some good energy and good body language on the sidelines, and some that do not. So that'll definitely be something we talk about heading into the game. All right. Thank you. See you Thursday.